All right, welcome back. We're going to switch our attention to golf now. The U.S. Open wrapping up on Father's Day weekend this past Sunday. Martin Kaymer was a machine the first two rounds, 10 under after 2 days. What did you guys think of his performance?
It was pretty impressive. I mean, if you took him out of there, then it would be a pretty hotly contested competition, but he was so far ahead of everybody else, first European to win it. I mean, it was amazing.
I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I didn't hate the fact that he played well. I hate the fact that there was never any competition in it. You know, if there's not 2 or 3 guys duking it out, I'm not interested. I didn't care to watch it just because he was so far ahead.
But isn't that fun, though? Like, remember in Tiger Woods, they went by 15 strokes. Like, it was so much fun to see, you know, is he going to birdie? What's he going to do
But
at this
Kaymer's
shot?
not Tiger Woods. You know, there's not that, I don't know, that appeal. Like, Tiger Woods was on the top of the game, and he was all the talk. Like, this guy's not.
But look what he did at that course. So, like you said, you know, everyone was playing for second place pretty much and shooting 2 under, 3 under. This guy was 10 under after 2 days. Like, he was lighting up a course that should not be lit up the way it was.
Don't get me wrong, it's unbelievable. But just as a fan, I like to see those.
I mean, I will agree with Basler. When it was Jimenez and Scott going to the playoff holes, that was pretty exciting at the end.
That was fun to watch.
That was major. So yeah, I can see how when guys are competing, it gets more exciting. But still, seeing a guy tear up the course like that is pretty rare.
One guy who didn't make it into the weekend was Canadian Graham Delaet. Now, he got off to a great start, but it seems once he hits these majors tournaments like the Masters and the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship, his game kind of goes down. So is it just the case of butterflies and the nerves getting into him, or do you think he's ready for this big stage yet?
I think he's there. You know, I think he needs to win that first tournament that's not a major. Get that monkey off his back. You know, like, the guy's got a lot of pressure. He's been there. He's been so close how many times. And everyone in golf saying, you know what, like, this guy is almost there. He's going to win a tournament eventually. He's always close. And
he was the most consistent golfer leading up to the Masters with the top 2 finishes, top 3 finishes.
I think he just needs to get that first one out of the way before he wins that major. It seems like he's just not quite at the level where he's able to handle it. I don't know.
I think it's a matter of just he's not used to playing like. We might say, oh, they're professional athletes, they shouldn't let it get to them. But playing in a major is a big deal if you're a golfer, especially your first 2 or 3 majors. So I think it's more of a fact that, especially the first one, this one probably as well, that he's just, you know, still a little in awe that he's actually there. And I mean, he might not play into him, but I mean, he does have the whole country behind him. When Delaet's playing, the entire country's like, he's our man. So there might be a little added pressure there.
Now, do you see him making a cut at the next Masters? I believe it's the British Open. Do you see him making the cut with the remaining 2 majors coming up here?
I think he'll be closer than he was this time. I think he'll be, if anything, he'll just be right there. I'd like to see him do it, but I think it's still, a matter of hammering out the nerves.
You got to hope so. I mean, is the guy 100% healthy? I don't know.
Well,
he was off for a couple of weeks before the US
Memorial, which is one of his favorite tournaments. He didn't golf on that one a week before.
I feel like if it wasn't the U.S. Open, maybe he wasn't healthy enough that he wouldn't have been golfing a regular tournament. You know, maybe he felt added pressure. This is a major. I can't afford to not golf in this. So
I think it was a left foot injury too. So, and the Memorial is a very slopey golf course, so you didn't want to.
Well, anytime you got a foot injury and you're, you know, playing that many holes of golf, it's.
Well, you don't know. It's all your swing's all hips, man. Like, come on.
I can only handle that.
Okay, we'll move on to basketball.
I'll play you guys for money any day.
Okay, NBA Finals. The Spurs defeating the 2-time champs in 5 games. Absolutely phenomenal what they did. Did you guys expect this thing to end in 5 games?
No.
Nope.
Not
I
at all.
loved it, though.
Yeah, it was. You know what? The basketball itself was amazing. To see a team, especially to the Heat. I mean, I don't like to say it, but the Heat are the closest thing to a dynasty in the last, like, say, 5-6 years. 4 straight finals, and to see the Spurs, even with all their old manpower, come in and just, they're like a machine. It doesn't matter who's playing. Everyone knows their position. Everyone knows what they're doing. Popovich just has them playing like a well-oiled machine.
That's what I like. A guy like Tim Duncan, he took a pay cut over the last couple of years, too, to bring in a couple extra pieces to potentially get back there, and you can't argue with what he's done. I mean,
legend.
In Leonard, too, playoff MVP, 22 years old, guarding LeBron. You know, after the Heat won Game 2, it's kind of like, LeBron's going to go off. But Leonard stepped in, put up 20-plus points in Games 3, 4, and 5. So you got to give props to that kid.
Well, the best stat is he's the youngest Finals MVP since Tim Duncan in 1999.
Unreal. LeBron better drink lots of milk and get lots of calcium this summer because he seems to be cramping up every other game. But happy to see him lose.
We'll stay with LeBron and the rest of the Heat. Now they're saying there's talks, you know, if the Heat don't win a championship, the big 3 are going to go their separate ways. Do you see the big 3 sticking around? LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, that is. Do you see him sticking around, or is LeBron going to go back to Cleveland, or what do you think is going to happen in the offseason?
I think they'll probably give it another shot. I mean, they made it to the finals. It's not as if they were an awful basketball team or things weren't going well at all. I mean, they lost in the finals. I think they'll keep it together for a while.
I'm of the different opinion. I think this will be the year that one of them is going to leave, just for the fact that they're all making so much money. And if you look at a team like the Spurs, who have a lot of depth guys that can come off the bench, play big minutes, the Heat don't really have that. So if they're going to have to do it, I mean, they're going to all have to take pay cuts. And like guys like D Wade, I mean, he's in his 30s now, but his knees are in their 50s. And like guys like that, I think LeBron would be better off to even go somewhere like Cleveland. Not going to happen, but a team like that's got a lot of younger guys who aren't making the big money, and he can go there and be the guy and kind of have a supporting cast that works for him.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think LeBron wants to stick around? Because like you said, D-Wade's got knees of a 50-year-old, and, Chris Bosh. I don't like
He's
Chris
hit or
Bosh.
miss.
He's never really proved that he's a superstar. Has he?
Not really, because he's in the big three. He's number 3, right?
He's a good player, but he's not a superstar. He's not going to
No.
win you a championship by
No,
any
he's not.
stretch.
No, he's not going to carry a team.
So big 3, who do you think goes? Most
I think
likely
LeBron's out.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't
Say
know.
a name.
Bosh.
All right, we're going to take another timeout. When
Wait.
we come back, Border City's favorite game, over-under, when we come back.